You probably found this video because you are in or were in a relationship with a narcissist. You've always realized that your relationships seem to have more than the usual bump in the road, but you weren't quite sure why or what was causing the friction. After some time of dealing with the ups and downs and highs and lows of the relationship, you finally decided to do some research to figure out if you could explain the interactions you were experiencing. You finally found it: narcissism. Unfortunately, after doing more research, you're finding that your partner is checking all the wrong boxes. It's scary, but you now understand the reason why it's been so difficult to have a successful relationship with your partner. You now know what you're dealing with and that the likelihood of changing is slim to none. But even with this new revelation, for some reason, you still can't find the strength to leave. If that's you, then welcome to my channel, The Narcissist Revealed, where we discuss narcissism and how it can impact our relationships. Understanding the patterns of this disorder can better help you prepare and prevent the pain and emotional abuse inherent in these interactions. If you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more videos like this. Also, check out the description box for more information and training on getting over your narcissistic ex. Now, let's get straight to the video. In many ways, sharing our lives with someone for an extended amount of time, even if that someone is narcissistic, fosters emotional closeness. Sharing our lives means sharing in on the highs and the lows, the good times and the bad times, the victories and the defeats. As we move through life together, we share experiences that normally deepen our bond. But with a narcissist, nothing is ever what it seems. What may have felt like a deep connection may just have been an illusion. In reality, what you really experienced was manipulation and gaslighting. But it is in this illusion of emotional closeness that can make it difficult to leave. When we've invested so much time into something, there can be a strong sense that to walk away would be to throw away all that we've shared, all that we've worked for. To walk away would be seen as a waste. It's difficult to walk away when we've invested so much time in a relationship, even a bad one. There are a number of reasons that people stay in long-term relationships with narcissists even after we realize something's not quite right. One of the main reasons may be the fear of being alone. A common reason for staying in a relationship is because you don't want to be alone. It's natural to want companionship. People aren't meant to be in this world alone. It can be very hard for us to imagine life without another person in it, a life in which we have to make all of the decisions, and there's no one else with whom to share our joys or our sorrows. Even if we know that the person who is treating us badly will never change, it can be incredibly hard to walk away. Some reasons people stay in relationships with narcissists are not as easy to spot or even talk about. The further down the rabbit hole you go, in other words, the longer you're in the relationship with a narcissist, the more difficult it can be to recognize that you're a victim of abuse. We may stay because of the fear of losing face. When the relationship first started, it felt like a fairy tale. They fulfilled every need you wanted in a relationship. You thought you finally found the partner of your dreams. You told everyone who would listen about the new love of your life, and they could see it too. Everyone complimented you on how much happier you looked since they walked into your life. You're glowing. The narcissist at the time was on their best behavior. But slowly things changed, and the niceties started to come far and few between. The happiness you experienced at the beginning of the relationship started to dim. You could no longer help but notice that this was not the same person that made your heart flutter at the beginning of the relationship. So, the downward spiral starts. Even though it might feel devastating to us, a narcissist's rejection can be seen as humiliating and defeating. We may not want to admit that we were rejected by someone we believed loved us so much, thus keeping us in the relationship just to prevent the embarrassment of walking away. Your mind may race 1,000 miles a minute with endless thoughts like, what will people say? I can't tell them he's not the person they believe him to be. How could I have been so wrong? I feel like a failure. By this time, you probably kept the issues in your relationship a secret to everyone in your inner circle. And it's likely that they don't know what's really going on. You begin to feel isolated and alone, but you convince yourself no one would understand anyway. The more our loved ones try to help us see what's really happening or offer advice, the more we resist and the more unraveled we become. They love us unconditionally, but it's not enough to pull us away from the jaws of a narcissist. After a while, You realize your attempts to bring up your concerns cause even more tension. You realize it's better to keep quiet and pretend like everything is fine, even if behind closed doors, you know everything is unraveling. Leaving an emotionally abusive relationship can be very scary, especially for those who have been isolated from family and friends by the narcissist. The narcissist doesn't want their victim to have any outside support, nor do they want anyone outside of the relationship to have any knowledge of what's really going on in the relationship. We may have stayed because we feel like we don't deserve better treatment. We may not believe that we are worthy of a loving relationship. It's possible that we have been brainwashed to believe that the abuse that we're experiencing is somehow our fault or something we did to deserve this ill treatment. If we've been raised in emotionally abusive families, this relationship may seem familiar to what we've always experienced from close relationships. We may believe that if we work hard enough at the relationship, it will eventually become what we want it to be. The problem is that no matter how much time and energy we put into the relationship, it will never change. We may have stayed because of the length of time we've been in the relationship. If we had recognized earlier in the relationship it was emotionally abusive, it may have been easier to break away. But if we've been involved in the relationship for a long period of time, we may feel obligated and responsible for things we've done within the relationship, even though our efforts were aimed at pleasing our abuser. We may have stayed because we didn't want to start over. You may feel like you've invested so much time in the relationship it's hard to walk away. You'd rather put in the effort it takes to fix what's broken than to start a new relationship. When we are in long-term relationships with someone and then walk away, we may be afraid that no one else will want us because of all the negative things that happened in our last relationship. It can seem easier to stay than to try to find happiness elsewhere. In addition to these reasons, a person can also stay in the relationship because they're holding on to the belief that one day the narcissist will change. They may believe that if they just loved more or gave more or stood up for themselves less, then maybe the narcissist would be able to love them back and everything would magically fall into place. They may also have been so beaten down by the narcissist that they don't think they can leave. Another reason we stay, and this reason can be the hardest to change, especially in a person who's been in a long-term relationship with the narcissist, is that we have hope and faith that the relationship will finally work out. Those of us who are willing to stay and give our all in hopes that one day we'll receive love back from the narcissist may have spent years believing that this time they will change. We may have tried to change ourselves, we may have tried to show the narcissist how much they meant to us, and we may be willing to continue to try in the future. Yet, despite our willingness for things to work out, no matter what we do or how hard we try, they will not magically fall into place because it's not within the narcissist to change. It is in our own willingness and desire for things to work out that keeps us in relationships with narcissists. It is our belief that if we just try hard enough, they will love us, appreciate us, or care about us as much as we do them. This is a false hope and it leads to heartbreak. The last reason you may not leave after you realize you were dating a narcissist is because they don't let you go. Well, not easily anyway. They may never officially break it off with you or allow you to break it off with them. Instead, they just kind of put the relationship on pause. They put the relationship on pause while they're entertaining other people. They put the relationship on pause when they get mad at something that was done or said. They put the relationship on pause when you try to break it off, but they never actually give you any closure because in their mind, you belong to them. They will now continue to pop in and out of your life as they please until you put your foot down for good. This can send mixed signals and make it difficult to leave the relationship once and for all. It doesn't matter how long you may have allowed this to go on in the past, you have to continue to move on and continue to educate yourself about the patterns of narcissism. Recognizing these patterns can help you heal and prevent these type of relationships in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos below related to this topic. And now to the next video.